Слушай, я же забыла, я же сделала заставочку такую, у меня теперь тут welcome, это недоразвито, а музыку я еще не сделала, и оно теперь вот это еще цвет такой, который я не люблю. Ну ладно, потом переделаю. Это у меня только improvisation второй раз.
Okay.
Я импровизирую. Ну ничего страшного. Welcome to the second episode. Yes, it was still one. There was the last year. But this is the first one in this year. Oh my God, you are my debut in this year. Welcome.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you are absolutely the one and only one in the first. So, and a podcast episode today. Of course, I called it the most beautiful and dangerous business. And my beautiful audience, you will find out why it is so. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diversity is the Game Changer, the podcast where we explore how our differences, life experiences, and thinking styles don't weaken us but make us stronger. And today I'm deeply honored to welcome my guest whose work lives where pressure meets humanity and where clarity becomes a survival skill. Welcome, help me to welcome Yuly Grosman. Have I pronounced correctly?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
That's absolutely correct, yes. And actually, we already started chatting before I pushed the button, and actually, it was nice that I remembered to push the button record because sometimes when you really jump into the vibes and you feel the people also the same frequency, so actually the conversation can flow so nicely and smoothly that you can forget actually that it's also an episode. So today our guest, a global business mentor, keynote speaker, facilitator, leadership coach with over 25 years of experience. Though he looks very young, probably he started in the kindergarten. Transforming teams and organizations across industries and continents. Yuly is the creator of the Look, Listen, Respond framework, a practical, embodied approach to situational intelligence under real pressure. Through his framework, he has equipped more than 20,000 professionals across 5 continents, from executives to founders and frontline workers and elite teams. But what sets Yuly apart from so many others, it's not what he teaches, but how. People don't just sit and listen, they move, act, and apply. Maybe we can also do it today. Jump and dance and what. So after his workshops, participants often say, I've never experienced anything like that before. And other people say, I can use it today. That's because Yuli's work is not theory, it's live, embodied, deeply human. So welcome again. It's a privilege to have you with us today.
Thank you very much, Valia. Nice to
Yeah,
meet you.
yeah, nice to meet you. And before we start, actually, it will be very fascinating episode because you're really champion of diversification from the really capital letter. And I know that behind all your accolades and accomplishments, it lays so many. You are like former IDF, certified bodyguard, and Crown Mega instructor. I will be asking that. Keynote speaker, executive coach, visionary, and additional, maybe what is the most surprising, you are the king of flowers heaven, but about everything step by step. And before all that, we know we are all from our childhood, right? We have our roots in our childhood, and there leave lasting echo. So my first question about kingdom of this little boy Yuly, who lived once, and actually how your childhood and your experiences in childhood shaped your adulthood and mindset and decisions and the person you've become today. Thank you.
Well, first of all, it is great you asking the question because the way we the way we grow up, or the way we raised, right, the culture, the society, it's really will affect who we are by the journey. So I was born in Moscow, 1978. Back to your point of my age, when I told to my daughters, 15 years old, that I'm turning 15 2 years, they say, "Wow, Dad, you're so old." Uh, yeah, so that's the thing. if you remember, so I born in USSR, Moscow. It was Soviet Union back then. Um, it's around 1989. The German wall broken down. Gorbachev lifting the iron, the steel iron, and people who had opportunity trying to run away, to escape, because nobody knew for how long that window of opportunity was opened. And
Yeah.
my parents submitted documents and moved to Israel. I was back then 12 years old. Nothing new about Israel. I saw maybe one movie, and in my imagination, Israel was something like Egypt, the historical Egypt with big columns, with white, massive stone buildings. So
Mm,
no imagination. I didn't know where we're going to. When we landed, I saw the palm trees. The first time in my life, I saw yogurt because back then in 1990, when we moved, it was beginning. In Russia, they started to give you tickets for sugar because there was no sugar.
I,
Later on, yes. So later on, the food disappeared in supermarkets. So I kind of left that there and moving to Israel, first time in my life, first yogurt in a grocery shop, different life. I didn't expect. Uh, there was no expectation about heaven. I knew it will be not easy, it will be hard, new language, new friends. But what's interesting, and I think this was the biggest impact in my life on what I was doing later on. So we ran from Russia as Jewish people from anti-Semitism. When we moved to Israel, the hope was now we're coming to the promised land and blah blah blah, all the stories. But then suddenly you find yourself in society where everybody bullying you on the street because back then 1990 there was no many people who moved from Russia, Russian speakers. We're one of the families that moved to in our city. And at the same time, people who came from Russia back then were well-educated people, from professors, engineers, doctors, with very strong knowledge and background. Uh, they come to Israel, and of course, local people losing the jobs because they may be more lazy, and Russian people needed money, so they are ready to work extra hard. So Israeli population losing jobs, replacing them with very smart Russian speakers people, and
mhm.
of course lower salaries, and of course that create some kind of frustrations, salon talks, home talks, where adults share their negative feeling, frustration, and kids picking up. So there was a lot of time when I was going to school. I'm talking about like grade six, seven, and kids hiding in the bushes throwing tomatoes, stones, eggs, whatever they can find, garbage on us passing by in the street, and then running away.
Mhm.
So that pushed me to start training martial arts when I was 12. Uh, my first business I started when I was 14
Mhm.
because needed help to my parents. This is also part of my book because my
Mhm.
book it's not really biography. My book it's a manual to leadership, to executive, to entrepreneur. Uh, there are stories, chapters of my life, different type of businesses. What are the risk mitigations? How to perceive risk? How to communicate? And the resilience. So this is also part of, I'm sharing these stories in my book, how I started to grow. But yes, back to a point, the beginning of USSR, moving to Israel and finding yourself in an environment, everything is strange, everybody is against you. And instead of finding yourself in a country that waiting for you with open arms, you find
Yeah.
yourself in a total bullying environment.
Wow, I could just imagine, but thank you first of all for sharing openly and honestly your story. And I can relate very much, to USSR because I just 2 years, I was born 2 years later than you. And I was born in Russia, but moved to Ukraine when I was just 4 months. And of course, I could remember experience all this uh, lack of everything actually, like you said, yogurt, because we have these special coupons, right? And you remember the story or anecdote when it was like these tickets and coupons for sugar and for salt, and it always like was a joke that if you have guests visiting you, so you're asking them, you would like to have a tea with sugar, or you would like first to wash your hands with soap, because you cannot give them both, right? So I do remember, of course. Uh, and like you also mentioned, the window of opportunities. It's exactly, we never knew actually that what to do with all this knowledge and with all this opportunity actually that came. It was so much frustration, because all of a sudden we understood that everything was served to us so many years. It was not true, right? That we lived in the best country in the world. And you remember so many people, when they got all this information, they've been living the whole life in lies. So also how many people took actually their lives and everything, and many people tried to find and to flee. And I can just relate and imagine how difficult it was for you, when all of imagination that now you escape for something which actually brought you adversity, and you're calm and you believe here now it will be like the paradise. And then you met all this um, also experience child, which like also understand, like for me and for you, all these make our path impact and actually teach us resilience, right? And exactly, we can now come to your book, and that's why also our episode calls them beautiful and dangerous business. And I, when I saw the picture book, I liked it so much, because I didn't understand in the beginning, because I thought it was so nice but so different, so polar, actually, adjectives like beautiful and dangerous and business, then roses, like beautiful roses. I was like, wow, what's here's hidden some gems. And it's true, when I start diving more deeply preparing for this episode, then I understood, first of all, it was your, I'm citing you now, the more people touch me, the faster I will die. The truth whispered by fresh cut flowers, and a brutal reality for any business. And it's so true. So I know that when you describe your book and taking us a little bit, so you're telling us that from escaping the USSR as a child to Israel, then launching a flower empower in Kenya, training special forces, helping teens survive the streets, the most beautiful and dangerous business is a journey through the moments that don't make headlines but shape everything. And it's true, and you tell also it's about resilience and its manual for unstoppable leadership. Could you please elaborate then in your book, in your lifetime experience and impact which you are doing every day by so many different things? What in all these uh, place the importance of diversity of thoughts, diversity of approach, mainly languages, cultures, everything. Because I understand that you've been impacting more than 20,000 people across the globe. I'm sure they are from vastly different cultures, risk. So what do you believe about diversity in all this? What kind of role it plays? Thank you.
Uh, thanks for introduction. Um, for me, diversity, it's well. First of all, I totally agree that each of us individual we're different. We have different brains, we have different mindset, we have different values because again, we're coming from different countries. And if you look at the biggest countries like US, the whole Europe, Middle East, Israel, right? Even Russia, you can see everybody mixed together, everybody coming from different countries. My wife, my current wife, she's half Chinese and half Irish. Her father is half Irish, half German. So everybody is mixed and everybody come with their own package of values, the way we grow up. I still remember going in Moscow underground, the subway. There's a board, a label on every single window, allowed to sit adults, provide seat for adults, pregnant women, and women with kids. If you're going in a bus in Israel, you will see teenagers sitting in the bus and putting his legs in front of him on the second seat, and he doesn't care if there's anyone standing and need that seat. So again, it's very based on how we grow and how we perceive each other. Uh, back to your question about even my book, right? The roses and the most beautiful, most dangerous businesses. I'm always believe that if you're different, don't hide it,
Mm-hmm.
because whatever make people today unique, because we're different.
Mm-hmm.
People trying to use AI, ChatGPT, and I often publish on my social media profile about do really people share their thoughts today? I have amazing post. I don't know if you saw it. It's called Banana Post,
Mm-hmm.
Banana Perception. And this post, I think it's went. No, it's not. It didn't went viral, but it get grabbed a lot of attention. And Banana Post is about when I'm sitting and eating banana. And the
Mm-hmm.
whole idea is that because I'm sitting dressed nice as a business person eating banana, it's just to grab your attention. And unfortunately, people click the button to play that message only because I'm sitting eating banana. And
Okay.
the idea is today people trying focusing what to post to grab attention, not to share their own thoughts. If you see what's going on social media today, people reposting someone else, someone who get a lot of likes, someone who get a lot of uh, repost, right? They will try to post it in their own social media because they want that exposure, not because they want to share something new, something interesting. And when I talk about, we call it microaggression, stress, because everything's starting from home. One of my favorite tools that I'm using on my speaking engagements, I'm showing a toilet because
Okay.
toilet is an example how we perceive each other, how we communicate to each other, and what are the values.
Uh-huh. Wow, so interesting. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
People live, I think, yeah. People live on certain patterns. They wake up in the morning, they're going to brush their teeth, they wash their face, they wake up in pajama. It doesn't matter what is your title, CEO, SFO, are you a president, vice president? You wake up in the morning in the same way like everybody else. You're a human being. That's the most important thing, and people forget it. So you wake up in the morning again, brush your teeth, maybe serve breakfast for your kids, talking to your spouse, and then you're going to the washroom.
Yeah.
And that's a great example because, for example, in Russia, when I grew up, I was told that sorry for these details, but when you're going to pee, you lift the seat up, and you lift it up. You're going.
Yeah.
When I moved to US, I noticed that people lifting it up, and you're supposed patterns. Automatically, people going to the washroom, doing whatever they have to do. Man lift the seat up, and he's supposed to put it down. And
Yeah.
if this doesn't happen, it's the first layer of stress, miscommunication, and the way forward to aggression that can happen later on. Because if
Okay.
in the morning I'm going to the washroom at home, lifting up, I'm lifting the seat up, and my wife expects that the first layer of frustration. Okay, Yuli did not do this, and I ask you second time. From my perspective, I grew up most of my life lifting the seat up, and this is
Mm-hmm.
where the arguments starts. I'll give you another layer of frustration. At the same morning when you had this experience with toilet, your neighbor cutting grass 7 in the morning when you're preparing for a very important Zoom call. And on your
Mm-hmm.
preparations in your head for this business meeting, suddenly we're distracted by a neighbor who cutting the grass. This is the second layer of aggression, frustration, not aggression yet. Then you're driving your child to school, and someone cut you on the road and showing a middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
You might respond the same way or might not. It's really questionable. But the way you respond, it creates more aggression or can de-escalate aggression. And eventually you're coming to your business meeting in your office already with five or six different layers of aggression, cultural aggression,
Mm-hmm.
because it's based on culture. And then we're coming to microaggression, stress, conflicts in work, conflicts in boardrooms, conflicts within the corporate and teams.
Exactly. And that's why I do fiercely advocate for diversity management. It's exactly how we can manage this process that they are not reaching this point, that they make so much stress and frustration. Then we are talking about cultural competence, right? That
And this
we,
is why I came with look, listen, respond. Because if
yes,
I'm
please.
just
It was my next question. Could you elaborate and take us through this framework, which is called look, listen, respond, and what's in theory and actually please I do love so much that you already like jump into practical examples, then everybody can relate, right? Like a toilet and car and everything. So please look, listen, and respond by.
absolutely. Let me just let's jump back. So 2001, I'm after IDF, Israeli Defense Forces working security in hospital in Israel, second Intifada, Al-Aqsa, terrorist attacks. There's a lot of also frustration and fights in the hospitals between patients, the families, and the doctor, medical staff, doctors, nurses. And at some point, we came to a situation where fights every single day. And you realize that you cannot stop fight if you keep fighting. And
Mhm,
this was the first time when I realized let's create something how we can communicate better, how we can listen to each other better, how we can
mhm,
try to understand each other better, and then respond versus react. Because one of my examples in my workshops, it came from the training security people, but then I also started to do it with corporate training. If you put two people together and you give them scenario that imagine you're staying in a bar, in a restaurant, on the street. If one person come and push you, just push you like this, quite aggressively, the response of second person will be also pushing back, or at least raising hands up and asking what's going on.
mhm.
And this body language, the voice of tone, the way that person responds can again escalate or de-escalate aggression.
Yeah.
Training all this over 20,000 people globally. I never done research about it, like proper sciences research, but approximately 90%, 90-95% of all my students, they responded that they will push back. So the question is, someone push you, what you will do? I will push back.
Mhm,
90,
mhm,
95%.
mhm,
So I came with this mindset of techniques, look, listen, respond. So one from security, two from bodyguarding, because bodyguard need to understand what's going on around him. He need to listen to environment. He need to look at suspicious people, suspicious activity, and then he
mhm,
need to respond to protect his client customer in a
mhm,
certain way. And the same thing is business. If you know how to read business, if you know how to read markets, if you know how to read
mhm. It
if
was
you
a little
understand
technical problems. Yeah.
politics, if you understand
Can you hear me now? Because it was a little bit frozen parts, but it's okay. It's authenticity.
oh yeah now it's okay. Yes, if you know how to look and listen even to your not opponent, competitors in the market,
Hmm.
you can grow your business. You can go to the next levels. And in my book, I also explore a bit, not a bit, markets, flowers. What's going to be in the fashion in terms of roses in the next 5 to 10 years? And that can be based on what women wearing, what clothes. It can be based on political situation in a country,
Hmm.
and of course, what breeders can provide at the same time. So yes, look, listen, respond is for everything, starting from business up to your personal relationship, body language, communication, tone of voice, and I think the most important is how you're willing, how you want, how much you're ready to understand the other person. because people selfish. Uh, our ego sometimes, in most cases, is very high. And if you
Mm-hmm.
can control it, if you know how to control it, you can run better conversation and achieve much more.
Yeah, exactly. It's how we should learn not to respond, not to react, but to respond, right? And then
How to
it's
respond? Yes.
yeah, it's so important. Those even couple of
Some
seconds.
people,
Yes, please.
yeah, some people see stock markets going down, they sell everything, and some people waiting. Some people see that their opponent reducing prices for the similar products, they also reducing prices without understanding the entire market.
Hmm.
So it's all about how you look, listen, respond.
Yeah, exactly. But tell me more. It's so interesting. Yeah, like in this book, you tell I'm not just sharing stories. I'm unveiling a philosophy, and the reader can discover how these seemingly disparate experiences, like roses, flowers, and bodyguards and martial arts, you manage to converge them, and they help you to think strategically. And what I like, and it's very aligned with our podcast, and you also said that it helped you also to lead differently and build businesses that thrive against all odds. um, and I love so much, and I would like to actually find out about this name, because you said also you will explore how even the most unconventional and crazy company name can become your greatest asset, challenging the north and capture attention in unexpected ways. It's for me, it's everything about so different. It's think differently, dare to approach differently, lead differently, and even about the name. What was the name that you're calling even crazy company name, which is very different, as I understood? What was the name?
Ma- it was
What?
Mao flowers. MAO flowers. Mao.
Mao flowers.
Mao.
Oh, well, Mao.
MAO.
Yes.
Yes. Ma-
What does that
Mao
mean?
flowers.
Mao What means Mao flowers?
Well, when someone talk about Mao Zedong, what's the
Yes,
first thing
Mao. Yeah,
come in your head?
exactly.
Yeah. So the Mao flowers it stand to main African operator MAO Mao flowers because I
Uh-huh.
opened the company in Kenya. But the name itself, well, again, when you, I'll give you example from your personal life. You're right now going to the supermarket to buy yogurt. How many
Yes.
brands of yogurts do you have? Can you remember all of them?
In Norway, actually, yes, it's
It's
just two
almost hard,
companies.
right?
But in different countries, there are so many. No, you have no idea. You don't
Yes,
remember.
but imagine it will be yogurt called Mao. You'll associate it very fast in your brain, and you'll remember it. And this is what I created. I
Yeah.
created Mao flowers, and again, nothing to do nothing to do Mao Zedong, but Mao flowers was easy to remember. And
Yes.
our customers around the world, there are so many flower exporters and traders and and supply chain companies dealing with flowers. You can't remember all of them, but Mao was so easy to remember, and I was hearing myself how customers talk about us in the markets and saying, "Oh, there's this amazing flowers. I should recommend it, but I don't remember the name." Right, this is the same name as an Asian dictator was. So
Exactly.
the name of the company was so easy to remember, and again, because you're trying to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the last business before moving to the US, it was food production business in
Mm-hmm.
Kenya. I created, it's called the Taste of Home.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the tasks is was create a jar, a package that will be memorable to people. And
Mm-hmm.
back to the same point, when you're going to supermarket, first we see with our eyes.
Yeah.
Then the sensation comes from touching because you take in the package. If you
Mm-hmm.
like it in your hands, most likely you will get it. You put it in the basket. So when I
Exactly.
was creating the brand, It was about how the product look on the shelf, how it's standing out from all over the products in the same
Mhm.
category. Then a
Mhm.
sensation when he touched the package, the craft paper, even the rope. It took me almost 2 weeks to decide what rope I will use because the way you touch the rope to open the package was
Mhm.
extremely important in that process because I saw customers opening the rope, opening the jar, eating the
Mhm.
yogurt, and
Mhm.
because it was 250 gram, 300 gram, you can't always finish the yogurt at the same time. But they like
Yeah,
to close it and put rope again at the end. So the whole process, again, the way you create the name, the way you create the packaging, it's how to grab attention in today's very destructive and busy world.
exactly.
Everywhere is lights, right? Lights, advertisement. So how you can stand out, how you can be different.
Yeah, now you really can, and my beautiful audience can understand that diversity is a game changer. It's true, and just you should really use the time to digest uh, and yes, and think about and focusing maybe on detail, but then again you can use your framework like look first, then listen what you did with your comments about your flower, and then respond, and then you respond with special strategy and then even special products, right? So yeah, can you tell actually, because it's still for me it's so interesting, roses and your career, training career, how actually did you decide to go to Kenya, and why you decide to choose this part of the world, and why actually also you did decide to focus on flowers at the same time while you were like in
I would like,
totally different activity? How those two married in your head? How it was like one day you were just like, oh, actually I'm doing this and this really boyish stuff, and now I really want to, I will balance it with really girlish stuff, but it's not just girlish stuff. So how actually those two, the idea came to marry them in your head? It's so interesting.
this idea was not at the same time at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
After working in security for many years and saw all the terrorist attack and fights and everything, I get tired to it and decided to I need to change. I need to do something else. Now
Mm-hmm.
back to the point when I was 14, 15 years old, I used to sell flowers after high school in the junctions. Cars were
Oh.
passing by, I was selling them the ready flowers, sometimes even door to door. So when I found in newspaper opportunity, they're looking for field guy to run around, just to drive around the country and to look for growers, not even negotiate the prices, just to find the new growers. I thought I'm pro in the flowers. I knew everything, and this is also what I'm exposing in my book. I knew that flowers are red, white, yellow, and sometimes they smell good, and sometimes they were stinky. And I thought that's more than enough. I was 24, 25 years old back then. So I
Yeah.
was hired to look for the growers in Israel. And very quick, because of Look and Respond, I saw that there's global changes in political situation in the Middle East, global changes in the markets in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
Israel could not produce the same quality as competitors from Ecuador, Colombia, Holland could do. And this is what pushed me to start a new project. I can definitely say that I was the founder of the project of
Mm-hmm.
direct trade between Kenya growers and Western Eastern Europe. So let me just make correction. Kenya used to export flowers before, but most of the flowers used to go to auction in Holland,
Mm-hmm.
and from
Mm-hmm.
Holland distributed all around the world. What
Yeah.
I did,
Mm-hmm.
I cut. Just a moment, sorry. What I did, I cut that distribution and I started to sell direct. So flowers used to go from Kenya to Holland. Still, sorry, can we do? Can I pause for a second? I guess there's some urgency.
Yeah, I just can't talk to people. It's okay. You can pause. Yes, yes. I can just elaborate a little bit about really part of diversity that is the game changer. Now you can see so obviously from the story of our guest that first of all, it's never late to change anything in your life, because before I pushed the record, so we have been elaborating that Yuly started kind of his new life in the US, in America, in 2019. And then when you already have been experienced so many different countries, like cultures, and where you had to adapt, and at the age of 40 you are at the stage that you should change your mentality and culture and everything again. So then it says a lot about to be so diversified, to be open, to be brave, and that you should never stop believing in yourself. And he was born in USSR, moved to Israel, then moved to Kenya, then now he has moved to US, and it was all kind of activities and languages, and then you understand also environments. So it's again a bit to be brave, to be diversified, but of course to be flexible, and to gain all this experience. And I really recommend you, my beautiful audience, to read his book. It's called The Most Beautiful and Dangerous Business. It's exactly the manual what we are talking about now, how you can lead differently, think differently, approach all kind of interactions with people, both home and while you are with friends, and also at your working place, knowing the framework, which is called Look, Listen, Respond. And I also encourage you to go to Yuly website, where you can get more knowledge about his coaching sessions, one-on-one, and also he works as corporate coach. And as I understand, it's a very different way how he presents his knowledge. So for me, it's also interesting one day to be a participant and to find out actually what he's doing so differently, because people, they really say it's alive, embodied, deeply human. And it's amazing when people can comment that I've never experienced anything like that before and I can use it today. So I hope that our guest is coming back soon and we can continue our knowledgeable conversation. And again, I can just show you that our show is really for people who can be engaged in all type of activities, and it's very authentical. Now something has happened from his side, and it's Sunday evening. Something really emergency, that something needed his attention, and of course he should be there. And now we can continue, because I was sitting and talking about your book, your business, and was promoting everything what you are doing, and showing that everything can happen Sunday evening. People can get some situations, and yeah, we are
Yeah.
all authentical, and we can show that to be diverse, brave, and even all these situations you can always be put flexible and adapt. So okay, so
That's actually,
we were on the subject of, about you found the project, and actually you became the game changer of transportation the flowers not via Holland but directly, right, from Kenya.
Yes, so we started to connecting growers direct to the
I can't
markets.
hear you. This is something that you should press from your side now.
Uh, can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me? Uh,
Mystical.
Hello? I don't know. From my side, it's working.
I know this studio knows it's a holiday. No, it's a weekend. And oh, private chat.
Can you hear me
It
now?
is working from my side.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can see.
Then I don't know. There is something maybe mute. No, edit mic settings.
Hello?
Let me. I remove you from stage. Can you edit? Can you then come again? Try to come again. Okay. Today is really technical playing. We have just one topic actually we should cover now. It's about neurodiversity. And I hope, oh, yes, and I hope
Can,
now everything
can,
looks
can you hear
perfect.
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
Perfect. I was sitting and I'm using the audience, so but it's okay. Again, I said it's Sunday and probably the StreamYard and studio knows it's holiday. No, it's a weekend. It doesn't want to work. It's okay.
Well, actually, it was a great example how an uncertainty can affect our life. And I'm right now visiting my family in Israel, and my mom was very hardly knocking the door, and someone was trying to scam their Visa account.
Oh my
So she
God.
was, yes, it just happened just now. So they're trying to figure out what to do now.
Oh wow. So
But
you have to run now, or you
no, no,
have to?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, okay. So welcome back again. And actually, yes, I actually with the purpose didn't want to make a breakage because it's so true. Life is going on, and sometimes you really should like take a breath, pause, and not react but respond. Yes, everything can happen, and you see just right now because we are so alive, and every single minute. Time and new situation is coming, and how we should learn how we proceed them, right? And sometimes first to take a little bit back and pause, digest, and then respond, not react immediately. So uh, my last topic, usually, and a very passionate topic for me right now, it's new and emerging part of diversity, which is more and more um, popular now. I don't know. It's yeah, we can use this word popular, but it's about cognitive or neurodiversity. It's basically that yes, how you have already brilliantly underlined that we are all different, and we know that, and this special focus in neurodiversity that our brain are wired differently and we perceive this world and information, and that's why how we react and respond also very differently. And I'm displaying neurodivergent myself. I have OCD, and it's always not like just separate disorder, it's always combined with different. But then the paraply on neurodiversity, it's autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, OCD, ADHD, a lot of things, and maybe more which we still yet to uncover. And it's often misunderstood, it's still taboo, it's still, especially in the ex-Soviet countries, it's a lot of stigmatization and discrimination. From your perspective, how these different cognitive and sensory experiences, how they can improve situational intelligence, how they what role they are playing now in our life, and also in business and in leadership. People should be talking more openly about this, or many people, they still mask, they still are afraid to talk and share this openly. Many professionals, they feel that they should mask their instincts, their reactions. What would you say for somehow that they should feel, that the people who feel different, they should still mask it, or how we can change something in society that it should be more normalized?
Uh, Thank you for asking that. I think again that people should not hide who they are and what problems they have, because every lie at some point it will come up,
Mm-hmm.
and then nothing good will happen for you. It's not that I'm trying to sell a book or I'm not getting any benefit of it. There's a great book I was reading recently. It's called How a Woman Can Succeed in a Workplace, uh, despite female brain. It's an amazing book that's going back to the history and exposing us how people were advising through all these millions of years, evolutionary years, and how the woman brain, it's even different in a size way. It developed differently. How a woman back then could do multitask, where a man was hunting and in charge of bringing food to the cave. A woman
Mm-hmm.
could do at the same time also cooking and also looking maybe after kids and also sewing to making new warmer clothes. So it was about multitasking and maybe one task. So if we understand that again, back how we started conversation, that everybody are different,
Mm-hmm.
despite ADD or autism or whatever. We just need
Mm-hmm.
to understand and to hear each other in a better way. I don't like to talk politics,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like to talk in Europe, but I would like to bring a small example from my personal life. So when I was in Kenya, I had friends from Russia, also from Ukraine and from Israel. I have great picture that when someone telling me, Yuli, what happens in Middle East is good or bad, I'm always refer to that picture. I'm sitting with all my students from different nationalities, but they
Mm-hmm.
sit together in the same training hall, wearing uniforms, and everybody works together, everybody training together, because we share our time and knowledge to help each other to be better, to grow better. So back to the Kenya, what I noticed when the war started in Europe, that some people refuse suddenly speak Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And I was visiting some companies where founders are from Kenya from Ukraine. At the same time, I knew companies that founders from Russia. They refused talking to each other. But what's amazing that once I was invited to a big party where both companies came speaking in English to each other, refusing to talk Russian, Ukrainian, and after maybe a few hours of celebrating, because they were celebrating some business venue, people
Mm-hmm.
drink enough so they forgot all these political barriers and they
Mm-hmm.
start speaking the natural languages. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that back to your question, if we should hide it or not, I think that we should not hide. We should talk about our problems. We should be open, because only if I'm tell you what are my problems, if you're willing, you will understand it. And if you
Mm-hmm.
understand it, we can always find solution and compromise and to grow better together.
Exactly. Thank you so much. It's united, we are stronger. I also do believe strongly that we are harnessing the power of collaboration. We can really have a win-win situation. So thank you for your feedback. Before we wrapping up, usually I'm asking the question by inviting how I call it my vice president and people all of a sudden like, oh wow, we are three will be in my studio, but actually it's not. It's a small Aladdin lamp from this fairy tale, and now I have it in my Paris studio because I live between Norway and Paris. And my vice president and this cutie, she lives in Paris now. So, but if we can put our imagination skills, that I'm holding the pink beautiful lamp from Aladdin fairy tale, which provides a wishes or make the wishes come true. So my always last question for my honored guest, that if you today, exactly right now, what's coming into your brain, mind, soul, could make one wish for this my vice president. So what that wish would be?
Uh, that people will be ready to listening to each other, truly listening.
Yes.
There's a say, uh, when you speak, I listen. When you shout, I hear. And there's a big difference between hearing and listening.
Oh, I love
So
it.
my
When
wish that
I
people will
listen, when
start.
I hear. Okay, perfect. And can you
So I
please
really hope that people will start listening.
start listening? Amazing. And I'm joining, and I'm sure my vice president as well. And again and again, while it was a little bit emergency from your side, so I was encouraging people to go and check upon your site and your homepage, and to be more familiar with your courses, with your services, and of course your book, The Beautiful and Dangerous Business.
This
Yes,
is my
this one, amazing. Hopefully one day I can also read that, because I'm really, really keen to find out how all these puzzles you put together. And this book, which you also mentioned about the female brains, can you repeat one time, please, the name of this book?
yes.
How?
Just want to give you the full name. It's how women can succeed in the workplace despite having female brain.
Oh, despite having, it sounds like even like it's a small brain, but it's absolutely.
And the book will actually was written by a woman author.
Uh-huh. Okay, amazing.
I love it very much.
So much.
Just before we finishing, if you allowed me the last thing to say, which I
Absolutely.
always like to say, amazing, imagine of roses,
Yes.
any flowers, because different people like different flowers. Flowers can talk to us without saying a word, and sometimes their messages stronger and more loud than executives shouting.
Exactly, exactly. It was through the ages, through the epochs. That's no brainer why we always used flowers, of course. And it was so much power in Holland. And you remember this tulips revolution and everything. It was more than money. So we know that it's very wow, colorful story, and it's powerful story about flowers. So that's for sure. That's why also in all romance in love, we also use flowers, and some so many times the poetry compare female and princess with flowers. It's one of the most powerful and beautiful things to do, and I do love that you actually use it to, and also. Take this metaphor into the business and leadership approach. That was new and different for me. That's why it was like, oh wow, I catch it immediately. So thank
And
you
many people
for
think about flowers. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
no, no,
go
no,
ahead.
no. I wanted to ask you your last comment, so it's actually was in my tongue now. Yes, yes, please welcome.
Uh, Many people think about flowers as a bouquet in grocery shop. They never think about flower that something create impact in
Hmm.
countries like India, Africa. It create jobs. It create schools, hospitals, electricity. They don't think about the flowers that have also disease. It's almost life organism. It shift across the country. It's changing packages. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
So when people ask me, Yuli, oh, you was doing flowers, it was very hard to explain that it's not just taking flower from a grower, putting in a box, and sending it to you to Australia, for example. It's
Mm-hmm.
much more beyond it. It's how the grower expanding farms because of more people buying flowers, creating schools, building homes for people who are working on the farms. So people talk about impact investments, uh, opening wallets, sending money to these kind of countries. You can do impact by different ways, not necessarily opening a wallet and giving donations.
Mm-hmm.
But you
I
need to
mean,
understand how the thing works.
yeah, it's exactly that's why I am encouraging people to read your books, because I understand and know that you were underlined that after reading this book you would never see or look or put your eyes on the flowers again with the same approach, because it's so great impact. And now everybody is talking about sustainability, and then it's how to sustain the whole life, the whole chain of the flowers. So for me also it makes more and more sense how important it is, actually not just like attribute of beauty, with really great impact in so many ways. So thank you for sharing your story. You being you, be so diversified and dare to be as you are. And thank you for staying with me this evening, Sunday evening. I do really appreciate it so much, because the most important we can give to each other is our presence, time, and listening, right? Like you said, we are listening to each other and we're responding. So thank you for bringing your experience, your honesty, your humanity into this conversation. And your work reminds us that diversity, and especially under pressure, and especially when you should change and shift so much, and mentality and language and culture, um, sometimes it's not up to us, it's necessity, but sometimes we can make all these choices, but we should dare to do that, because risk not to take risks, right? And to our listeners, diversity is not about slowing down our decisions, it's about seeing more, listening better how you are asking us, and responding wisely. This was diversity is the game changer, and because when every mind is included, clarity follows and trust grows. Thank you so much again for being with us, and I hope that all your projects in this upcoming new year should flourish.
Thank you very much. Now I have one more project to deal with the scam of credit card of my parents.
Oh yes, yes, and I really cross my fingers, and I'm asking my vice president that okay, can she grant one small wish more? Okay, thank you, your parents, that actually they allowed you to spend this time with me, though you came to, and they owe you kind of. Okay, bye bye.
Thank,
Till
thank
next
you very
time.
much.
Thank you. Bye.